Welcome. So, what exactly makes a food processed? For this example, I'm going to refer to the cashew. Imagine a farmer is picking a cashew nut straight off a tree. Before this cashew was touched by the farmer, it had grown naturally on that tree and therefore it contained a shell that was toxic and dangerous for human consumption. This cashew would be considered a whole food. Whole foods are foods that are unaltered and consumed closest to how they exist in nature. An example of other whole foods would be fresh fruits, unprocessed meats, and other nuts such as almonds and walnuts. But to get back to the cashew, it's pretty obvious that a farmer can't sell a cashew with a toxic shell into the market. So the farmer removes the shell and steams the cashew, removing all of the toxins that it contained in its natural state. Now, this cashew is officially processed. Minimally processed. Emphasis on minimal. It has been altered from its original form, but can still be considered a whole food, because through being steamed, it's only been very, very slightly altered, and all of its original nutrients still remain intact. Now, even though a plain cashew is a pretty satisfying snack on its own, this farmer may decide that it could sell better on the market if it was salted. So, they add salt. The salt increases the flavor of the cashew, sure, but it's still not enough to take it out of the genre of being a whole food. Now let's jump into the devil's corner of food. Ultra-processed foods. The AMA, otherwise known as the American Medical Association, labels ultra-processed foods as this. Ultra-processed foods are industrial creations made with little to no whole foods. They often contain large amounts of sugar and salt and are infused with artificial color and additives. So, to go back again to the cashew scenario, imagine if a company like Frito-Lay, the owner of the largest potato chip line in the world, decides to make a high-profiting market off of, you guessed it, cashews. In doing so, they add some common preservatives that you probably heard of. Very, very common. Preservatives such as sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, and sulfur dioxide in order to increase the shelf life of the cashew from just a couple of months to a few years. Then they decide that salt isn't enough flavoring to catch the taste buds of everyday consumers. So they decide to add beef flavoring to make the cashews taste more meaty and delicious. By the way, natural beef flavoring is created not from beef, but from hydrolyzed wheat and hydrolyzed milk. Which, to give you a heads up, next time you feel like getting those crispy golden fries from McDonald's, they use this natural beef flavoring in their recipe. So you vegetarians out there are safe. Enjoy your fries, just maybe not too much. So, now we have a cashew that not only has a long shelf life, but it has its own flavoring just like how you see pizza-flavored Pringles at the grocery store. These salted and beef-flavored cashews would be considered ultra-processed. Other examples of ultra-processed foods include foods like soda, processed meats, such as hot dogs and deli meats, frozen ready meals, and breakfast cereals. So yeah, that's the basics of how processed food actually becomes processed food. As much as I would like to get into the major health risks of ultra-processed foods, I would have to save that topic for an entirely separate video. If you found this video to be educational and interesting, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. That's pretty insightful. Yeah. Can I have a cashew? Yeah, you're right. Probably not. Yeah, I'm good actually. I'm not.